What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American here today to react and learn about awesome things you can only do in London. If you were to ask an American on the street at random, what is a place you would like to visit in your lifetime? Bucket list place. I think most Americans at the top of their list would say London. Mostly because it's a big, beautiful, popular city that's not in America. That's very important. When we finally get the opportunity to get out of this place and go on vacation somewhere, it's outside of America, and it's gonna be a big, beautiful place that we've all heard of. And usually, for most Americans, that is London. But there's, quite honestly, many big, beautiful, famous cities around the world, in Europe, in the UK, that are not London. Which is why I'm very, very excited today to watch this video about things you can only find in London. Special, unique activities and places that you can only take part in when going to London in particular. So I'm very excited to learn about this, so let's take a look.
London is or was the home to some of the world's most famous music bands like Pink Floyd, the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, and many, many more.
So I can already see at the bottom here, she's saying a tour of London in album covers. That that makes so much sense. I got to admit that's like the most touristy thing, the most tourist activity I can think of, but don't get me wrong, Americans would freaking love this. And you can only do it in London, so it satisfies the requirements. Album covers for the Beatles, Pink Floyd, Rolling Stones, the pictures of places that you can find in London, you can actually see them. Oh, this is good. It's good.
So you can actually go around London and see where some of the most famous album covers were shot, because lots of them were taken here. 10 minutes away from Oxford. 10 minutes away from Oxford. 10 minutes away from Oxford.
Oh, geez.
10 minutes away from Oxford Circus Tube Station is Berwick Street here in Soho. This is where one of the most famous album covers in Britpop history was shot. Oasis's What's the Story, Morning Glory album. Noel Gallagher.
Cool. Like, an Oasis album, too. Man, there's a lot of popular albums, like, that have the artwork from London. Never really thought about that. Is this like something you sign up for? Like a tour bus that takes you around London to all these album covers? Like, how touristy can we get here? And again, I have to admit, like, American tourists would, like, die for this. Like, this actually, even I, like, this sounds good.
Considered the music on this album to be riot music, so he wanted a bit of a riotous area to take the photo in, and so he settled on Soho, which...
I'm sorry, this has nothing to do with the video, but the name of some of these places, Admiral Duncan, what else was it here?
Wanted a bit of a riotous...
Dog and Duck. I'm sorry, I couldn't ignore that.
A very buzzy, bit of a crazy area. Of course, you can go see the world famous Beatles album cover at Abbey Road.
I can only imagine, like, how congested is this spot on Abbey Road? Because of this album cover. This has to be one of the most famous of all time. There have to be people, oh my gosh, think about all the people taking photos, trying to mimic this pose from the album. Oh man, okay. I bet so many people go here.
But there's lots of other places that you can go, and I'll leave a link in the description box to an article that tells you about other album covers and where they're shot around London.
Okay, nice. What is this?
Straddle both sides of the world in Greenwich.
Straddle the Prime Meridian. The Prime Meridian goes through London? You can be on... Wait, the Prime Meridian? That's like where the Earth is split in half, right? Like, I was paying a little bit of attention in geography class. Not a whole lot, but a little. You can be in two halves of the world at once?
London is a city that quite literally splits the world in half, and you can see this if you go to the Royal Observatory in Greenwich. There you'll find the prime meridian, which is a line that runs north to south and is 0 longitude. So you can actually put one foot on the western side of the planet and one foot on the eastern side of the planet.
All right, now I just feel like I'm going to be saying this a lot. These are like, these are such cool things, but they are like such tourist traps. Like, the local Londoners, the people who live in London, are not going to check out the Prime Meridian like every week. I mean, maybe they are. Maybe they're having their coffee or tea, perhaps, and wanting to be in both halves of the planet for some reason. That'll wake you up in the morning, I suppose. But this is super cool, and a thing you can only do in London. Wow.
And you'll literally be straddling.
Wait a minute. The Prime Meridian. It's not, you could go on other parts of the planet. As a matter of fact, a line down the entire planet and do this. Although for part of it, you'd just be kind of floating in the ocean doing it. Anyway, I didn't know this was a thing in London, so it is cool.
Both sides of the world. It's pretty cool.
You were like a wealth of information.
Yeah.
Oh,
Thank
it's so
you.
good.
Our
Of
research for our trip.
Oh
Oh,
my God,
wow.
amazing. Wait, we met someone else before we were filming at Kensington Palace, and he just arrived today too. Everyone's getting in today. Amazing.
Oh, she's just out here having fans walk up. Oh,
Hi, guys.
okay. Ooh, food? A little food?
Get a taste of the entire world. London is an incredibly diverse city, and we have people living here from all corners of the planet, which has had an amazing influence on the cuisine that we have in this city.
That is such a good point, because when Americans in particular think about London, or anything in Britain, to be honest, we're like, oh, the food. I'm going to try some classic British food. Tea and crumpets and stuff. But the truth of the matter is, you can go to London, you're going to have the opportunity to try an incredibly diverse set of foods in London, which you should really take advantage of.
So, make sure you take advantage while you're here. Set a challenge to try as many different cuisines from around the world as you can. If you need help finding really good restaurants with
What's going on here? What was that thing?
cuisines from around the world as you can. If you need help find
You can try some soup from outer space or whatever's going on here. This is amazing. And this is totally not something Americans realize. That you can go to London and get like a taste from around the world. Americans just like, oh, I'm gonna get some British food or something, but no, there's a lot more.
finding really good restaurants with cuisines from all over the place, then check out my casual tourist guides. I have lots of diverse restaurant recommendations where you can go and stuff your face.
Oh yeah.
Take a tour of the Houses of Parliament. You can get tickets to tour the inside of the Houses of Parliament, which is one of the most impressive buildings in the entire world.
Yeah, I think this is what most Americans think of when visiting London. Like the unique opportunities in London is some of the architecture, seeing Big Ben, seeing some of the castles and whatnot. And I've never really thought about touring the Parliament building. I think I'd be afraid that would be boring. But I'm sure it's actually fascinating and delightful and probably like amazing on the inside as well. I don't know if there's any video of it.
Plus, it's where a lot of things happen for the UK government.
Wait, you can tour the building where the UK government is actively like using it? Which is, you probably can't go into like the House of Commons or like, can I go tour and run around the House of Commons or something? Or do I have to pay extra?
The 75-minute tour takes you around the Commons Chamber, the Lords Chamber, and a bunch of other parts of this amazing building.
You can go to the House of Commons and run around. Maybe not run around. The House of Lords, Westminster Hall. Oh, but not the House of Commons in shorter tours. I don't know. There's a lot more to this than I thought.
While also telling you about all of the history that's happened here and also what parts of the UK government function where. Fun fact, if you're from the UK, you can actually get your tour ticket for free. You just have to contact your MP, or if it's 4 weeks out from when you want to do your tour, you can contact the booking office directly and see if they have anything available.
That's nice. Okay, these are good. What's this? A bus?
Take a ride on a red double-decker bus.
Yes!
These buses are an icon of London.
They are. This is such an icon of London. Like, I actually wondered, like, do these really exist? Like, are they just in photos, or is this like a relic of the past? And it does my heart good to see that you can, in fact, get a ride on the big red double-decker buses. It's like a rite of passage.
Known worldwide, so you definitely have to hop on one while you're here.
Yes.
These buses transport over 6.5 million Londoners per day.
Oh.
So on top of looking amazing, they are also a really big part of London life.
Yeah, man. And you gotta get on like the top part. Although the bus she's on right now doesn't actually look all that crowded, which surprises me. Like, do locals use the double-decker buses, or is that kind of a tourist thing as well? Like, are locals walking or using the London Tube? Maybe it's more that, but still, I don't care. Like, sign me up for the double-decker bus.
Now, a special trick for first-time visitors to London, you can actually hop on the number 11 bus, and that goes by some of the major sites like Buckingham Palace, House of Parliament, and St. Paul's Cathedral.
Wow.
You can pick up the bus either at Victoria Station or at Liverpool Street Station and go Central. And you'll see all those places right from the double deck.
Yeah. Wow.
See the longest running theater show in the world.
Huh?
London has lots of great theater shows. In fact, we have 39 theaters in the West End alone, so there is lots to see. But one of the most special theater experiences you could have in London is to go see Agatha Christie's The Mousetrap.
The Mousetrap. I was waiting. I was like, what's the longest running theater show? Mousetrap? Agatha Christie's Mousetrap. I actually want to Agatha Christie Mousetrap. I actually want to know what this is about. The Mousetrap is a murder mystery play by Agatha Christie. The Mousetrap opened on London's West End in 1952. What is it about? It's a murder mystery. It's a murder mystery. How fun. Okay, that's good enough to kind of satisfy me. I needed to know at least the theme.
It's a murder mystery that has been running since 1952, making it
the
longest running play of all time. In fact, it's celebrating its 70-year anniversary this year, so definitely grab a ticket if you're coming in 2022. Or any other year, really. Come whenever.
Cool.
And speaking of theater, let's move on to the next tip.
Okay. I like these things that she's kind of listing here, because a lot of them are kind of active, like things you can, obviously for the theater you got to sit down and watch it, but you know, riding the buses and kind of seeing some of the other things are pretty active, like have you on the go, which is cool. Whereas a lot of things when visiting cities is just like, okay, let's stop here and look at this thing. Okay, let's stop here and look at this thing. Whereas these are kind of like active, even hopping on that bus.
Get last-minute discounted tickets to a theater show. We have amazing theater shows here in London. Our West End is world famous, but tickets can end up being really, really expensive. However, there is a way that you can get them at a discount.
Last-minute tickets. Do you get to choose what show you go to? It'd kind of be fun, or not, depending. If you can like show up, just get the cheapest ticket imaginable, but you don't quite know what show you're gonna get. But you can't complain because it's cheap, or how does this work, I guess?
If you want to see a West End show or a musical, you can try to get day seats. So what you do is you go to the theater and go to the box office as soon as it opens, which is usually around 9 o'clock, and see if they have any day seats available.
Okay.
They usually don't sell the first row of seats. That's what the day seats are. So you can get these seats for only 10 to 20 pounds. Amazing
Wow.
deal. And you'll get front row, right in front, right in the action.
Wow.
Or if you prefer opera, you can get cheap tickets for the Royal Opera House with their Friday Rush tickets.
Huh.
These are released every Friday at 1 p.m.
This is like the insider deals right here. This is good stuff.
and they can go as low as 5 pounds, so you get an amazing deal.
Okay. 5 pounds. Little opera.
Spot the blue plaques around London. A lot of very famous people have lived in the city, like Bob Marley, John Lennon, Florence Nightingale, and a lot of amazing and very important things have happened here as well.
Blue plaques. I see one behind her. Are these like historical, so just like memorializing historical people who have lived places? I saw a video a long time ago explaining how there's noses, like stone noses, like hanging around different parts of London. This kind of reminds me of that, but this is a little more historical, I guess. A little different than a nose. Very cool, though.
And a lot of these places and people are commemorated around the city with blue plaques. The blue
Okay.
plaques sit on the side of a building that tell you either somebody important lived there or worked there, or they tell you
Wow.
when something big and momentous happened in that specific building.
That's so smart. That's actually so smart. It's just like a fun thing. That's fun for like people who live in London, just memorializing the great, amazing figures who have lived there too. And it's good for tourists who can like stop at the blue plaques and be like, oh, Mozart was in here. You know, that never gets old either.
For example, this blue plaque behind me tells us that these two buildings were the Portuguese embassy way back in the
Wow.
1700s,
Yeah.
and that the Marquess of Pombal lived here back then as well. There are
Okay.
loads of blue plaques
No idea what that is, but cool.
all around the city, so it's a great way to give yourself a self-guided tour of a specific area or all around London.
Yeah, it's almost like a game kinda where you can like go around and just try to read as many of the blue plaques whenever you see them. Like if you're there with your family, I can imagine the kids being like, "Oh, blue plaque." And like it's kind of like a sticker collecting or something. You know, I don't know. It sounds fun.
Get tickets to Kensington Palace and you can walk through the reimagined rooms that have been used by the royal family for centuries.
Oh, you can Kensington Palace. I'm actually not familiar with this. Kensington Palace? Oh, it's showing up. It's in London. It is a royal residence set in Kensington Gardens in the Royal Borough of Kensington in Chelsea in London. Okay. It's owned by King Charles III in right of the crown. So it's just a royal residence. Funny enough, I haven't heard of this one.
Now, you probably won't spot Will and Kate and the kids, but they do actually live here as well as some other members of the royal family.
Really? Do they? Like, if people are allowed to tour it and walk around it and visit it on a daily basis as a tourist attraction, I can't imagine they live in it ever. But although it doesn't really take away, it's kind of nice that there is a royal residence people can go visit. And it's not disrupting anyone, but I can't imagine any members of the royal family are walking around here too often if you can go visit it like this close.
Now, if it's your first time visiting London, make sure you grab my free London 101 guide. It has everything you need to know before you come to this city, so click the link in the description box to get that for free. And if you want
Nice.
more tips for London, I've literally got hundreds of videos that you can watch.
Nice. I think that's the end. Very good. Very good. And by the way, this video's by Love and London, and I got to give it a like because that was great. That was great. Like that was a fantastic list of like about nine things that you can only do in London. Things that make London unique. Now, don't get me wrong. I know there's like hundreds of other things that make London unique compared to other cities. Honestly, endless things. But this was a great list, especially for, You know, Americans tend to be like, oh, I want to visit London, but I don't even think they really know why some of the time. Like, they're like, oh, because that's where the clock tower is. That's the place in England. Or, is England in the UK? Or that's my American impression. But that's why videos like this are so wonderful. Actually pointing out, hey, you're right. And there are specific examples of awesome things you can only do in London. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed learning about it. So anyway, if you enjoyed this as well, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to Britain and British culture and places and stuff in Britain that I've never seen before, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching and see you next time.